Are you a pro wrestling fan? Then odds are at some point in your life, you were a backyard wrestler. In this new series, I'm going to take you through how we came from this to this. It's a long story, covering nearly 2 decades. But if you're a nostalgic person missing the backyard days of yesteryear and a simpler time of the 90s and early 2000s, this is the story for you. This is Backyard Wrestling Cinema. Welcome to Backyard Wrestling Cinema Season 4, Episode 11. Last week we had revealed that Mumbles was my cousin in real life.
They're cousins, by blood.
And this week we opened the show with him irritating the holy hell out of me.
With raking goodness.
Seriously.
The idea was he was this fun-loving, goofy character, and I was this super serious wrestler, and we just didn't gel. And I was very embarrassed that somebody would reveal that was my cousin in real life.
No. Look, I warned you.
Cousinly
Back
love.
off. I'm serious. Last week I smacked you. All right. We have a couple problems within the B4W. All right, that's it.
Street sweeper. Street sweeper.
I had the B4W title that Tommy Thunder had thrown in the garbage 2 weeks prior, and I planned to crown myself, or my character, Denver Street, as the B4W champion. Rico DMF came out, and he had an issue with this, so we set up a tournament. We also introduced a new tag team, Viper and X. X was actually my original gimmick name before I came up with Denver Street. That was my super serious. This was this character X that I was doing, which was spelled EXKSE, and it's the same way we spelled X's name here. That was my character that was going to get signed by WWF. That was the character I always portrayed, and as I got older, I realized a name like X was just never going to cut it. So I thought Denver Street kind of had a unique ring to it. And we also added Hellspawn into our group, and Hellspawn used to team with X, and his gimmick name was Shave when we were kids. So we had these terrible gimmick names. Not that Hellspawn and Denver Street are any better, but X and Shave just sounds weird, especially when you're 5 years old. And as I introduced Viper and X and then brought out Hellspawn, Rico DMF walked away like he saw a ghost, and that was foreshadowing something that was to come later on. Next was the United States champion, Homeboy Joe Slice, taking on Mumbles in a non-title match. In this match, Mumbles was showing that he had been training with me, his cousin, since I was supposed to be the wrestler of the group.
Wait, he's got him up. Oh, he planted him. Unspoken comment.
And he was using lots of moves instead of his typical spastic offense. In the end, Mumbles was able to steal a victory in this non-title match. Next up was a #1 contender match for the hardcore title, which saw newcomer Hellspawn taking on Minister Mark Moses. Mark Moses was previously known as Mr. Benjamins, and he was really starting to put the work in here. He was making an effort, and he was trying to make Hellspawn look scary, and he took all the big bumps and just tried his best to make him look great. In the end, Hellspawn won and was the #1 contender for the hardcore title, which was now held by Rico DMF.
Pick him again. Irish whip. Oh my God. One,
two, three.
And the Moses is down.
Speaking of Rico DMF, the hardcore champion, he was up next. Slug was a member of the original 4 of us that started this whole thing. And he was back and forth through our revolving door of B4W over the years. He was our least consistent wrestler. Slug and Rico would team up in this one. They took on the new team of Viper and X, which collectively were known as Viper X. Real creative. And don't get too attached to Viper and X. They don't last too long. The match ended in a non-finish when me and Hellspawn came out. Hellspawn attacked Rico, and the angle was back in the BWL, which was Rico DMF's old promotion. He laid Rico out for 6 months. And the truth was, when we brought Jay, Hellspawn, to the BWL, he just no-sold everything. People were beating the hell out of him, and he just wouldn't sell anything, and we couldn't get him to go down or lose or anything. He was just uncontrollable, and we couldn't bring him back. But for our purposes, he laid out Rico for 6 months. The second half of the show was the XWA show, and it kicked off with Tommy Thunder being super pissed off that he had to fight somebody beneath him, like Rob Oblivious.
Oh my God. What are you doing? You got me fighting him? You got me fighting Rob Oblivious?
Calm down. What's
What
the
is
matter?
this crap? I was better off on my own. I'm quitting, man. That's it.
What do you mean you're quitting? Now listen, Tommy, you gotta calm down for a minute. Do you understand? Do you see what's happening here?
Yeah.
The XWA, we're unified, man. We're all together.
Unified? You got me jobbing.
Yeah, but wait a minute. B4W is falling apart. Did you see what happened out
Yeah, at least in B4W I was headlining.
Yeah, but
Top
listen,
of the
Denver
line.
Street is stupid, man. He's beating up his own guys out there. They're
The XWA champion TJ Money took on the returning Cobain. TJ got the victory and retained the title. Afterwards, Tommy Thunder, the XWA's most disgruntled employee, attacked Cobain and had to be peeled away from him.
Goes, this is elementary from here, folks. We're gonna see the Lesnar. Oh, and he nails the Lesnar on Cobain. I am expecting the fast count. Of course, a fast count, the only way the XWA plays. Tommy Thunder, who shook off 112 gauge.
TLD, who was the first XWA champion, was out next. And Tommy Thunder and TJ Money came out and started just talking over him and ignoring him, completely disrespecting him, showing him that the XWA, as TLD knew it, had changed.
Money in the XWA.
Hey, what's up, TJ? How you doing, so, Tommy? Yeah, we got this match. Who you wrestling again?
Yeah, I'm wrestling Cobain.
Are you?
I've done that a million.
Yeah.
This is my time. What the hell are you doing here?
The XWA owner, Christian Reed, comes out with his referee student, Rob Blivius, and sets up a decision match for the XWA Canadian title. It was Bobby Bowe versus The Beast versus TLD, and in the end, TLD, the first XWA champion, captured the title.
TLD moved just in time.
Dear God.
What?
TLD?
just won it.
Tommy Thunder versus Rob Blivius was the main event, and the idea was that Tommy Thunder had so much about his spot on the card, so Christian Reed, the owner of the XWA, changed it so his match would be the main event, and we could start planting the seeds for the current XWA World Champion TJ Money to start resenting Tommy Thunder in coming weeks, showing that Christian Reed was pulling all the stops to make Tommy Thunder the top star and kind of ignoring TJ Money, the current champion. We were starting to build to our big pay-per-view when worlds collide in just a few short weeks. Tensions were brewing backstage as well, and things would boil over in the very near future. That's all for this week. We'll see you next time right here on Backyard Wrestling Cinema.
Top. 2, 3, 4.
Oh, Kron!
Peace. Bye, Moses. Oh, he's giving him the torch rack. Oh my God! He just destroyed him. That should be it. Three tricks in the book. Oh! 12 gauge out of nowhere, and both men.
Got set up for a pile driver.
He's not. He's unsure. Spinning. Jesus Paul. There we go. Oh, and he nails it right on the